Welcome to Date with DANU right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. It's a season to bulk and it's a season to have a jolly good time. And laughter begins on stage with Feroze and his production, Nana. Let's speak more about it when we get on with the show.
Hi everyone, I'm Feroze Kamardeen, aka Nana. I'm here with my good friend and my artistic director Ifaz Bin Jameel to go on a date with my good friend DANU. So I'm here to talk about my new show, which is scheduled at the end of November, Grow Up Nana Part 2. Hopefully why I'm doing it and what I'm hoping to cover in this edition of Grow Up Nana.
The star of the show, Feroze. Then we have Ifaz, who is unfortunately the slave of the show and the one who brings in the dollars, producing the show, right?
Directing, actually.
Yeah, directing, producing, all of them.
We have two producers.
No, we have two producers.
You are just the director.
Just the director.
Just the director, because money is what matters, Dan. You know,
I don't
no
get involved
creative
in that.
person can live if there is no producer. Yeah. But anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Danu.
So, you know, this very offensive term, Nana, has been made into a play and people have come, paid money, sat and watched the first one. And did anybody call and say, what is wrong with you, Feroze?
Well, no, actually, strangely, no. I think we were very lucky. We had some great audiences the first time around. We did it even in the repeat show.
Yeah.
Because we did, the first show was November last year and we did a repeat in January early this year. Though I think the statements that you refer to, we see it a lot more on our social media actually. I think they put out some clips of me at in part 1 to promote the show and some funny stories about that. But one of the things that that you get to see is all these, the crazies coming out. Your typical keyboard warriors coming. It's quite fun to see that as well.
Yeah. But they couldn't get into the 633 seats that are available at the Lana.
Yeah, no, 610 actually now.
What happened to the
No, it was 610.
Ah.
610. Sorry, 621. 621 is the exact number.
Maybe they
we reduced it to 610 because we have we take out a few
things,
seats. We put some sound consoles and stuff. Yeah, but it's 621. 371 downstairs and 250 upstairs.
See? That's the count.
Yeah, well, now it's not 30 years I've been at the event, right? So I should know that.
Yeah. So, Ifaz, let's speak about how is it to direct Feroze?
How is it to direct Feroze? Yeah, interesting question. I think you need to start with.
Can I just interject? I think.
Now we know.
Now you know.
He's looking for words in the thesaurus for the words that have the same meaning as easy. It's a breeze. So amazing, right? I mean, such a pleasure to work.
Such a pleasure to work
he's looking for this. But
I'm trying to answer it while trying to keep this job because there's another week to go. Yeah. But yeah, so I think there are various approaches to direct a play.
Yeah.
In this case, it's funny, it's a comedy, it's just one,
There's no group huddle and all those stuff.
Oh probably the two of us and the producer. We do have a big crew behind this.
But here's the funny thing. So it's one performer, and of course last year I had 2 artists, but I have now 1, and we have. Actually, we have 3 producers on the show. So we have Ashan producing, Rikaz Hussain, and Dinesh Maisman, who are all stepping in. Then I have my own script supervisor, who's Virgil Thomas. So Virgil makes sure that I am sticking to the script. So Virgil knows, because when I'm in performance, Virgil will know if I'm
No adding, nothing.
Because it can get very dangerous if we try to go there. And then in addition to that, we have Siraj, who is our overall script content supervisor.
Right.
So Siraj is our what we call, he picks on anything and everything, right? So even like the use of certain words, we have to justify it. It will be thought of, how will it be perceived and all that. And then, he would say, don't do this, don't take this on, leave this off. This is not working, this is not funny. So there's, and then of course we have the backstage crew. So we end up with, for a one-man show, we end up with a crew of about 24. And the sounds and the lights and stuff like that.
And they said Mariah was it. Please.
Yes. So for this one, I even have my own manager, who's Ashan. He's my manager and this thing. So if I have an issue with like the dressing rooms and stuff like that, I complain. I mean, he complains to the producers. Although he's also a producer, he complains to the other producers saying, none doesn't like it, the sofa in the dressing room has, it's not like, whatever. So we just have a little bit of fun backstage. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
Now to the original question,
but
how
I'm
is it
told,
to direct Feroze?
But I'm told that all 24 of the crew members are absolutely crucial to the performance. I'm told that. So you were asking if
yeah, shall I answer the question?
Yes.
How is it to direct Feroze? Well, the thing is, in this instance, Feroze Feroze also happens to be the playwright and the performer.
Yeah.
So I think the directing process or the structure of the play, as it were, is already kind of embedded in the script.
Yeah.
And when you have a good script, I think this is a brilliant script coming from the first one. I think a good play kind of also has the nature of directing itself.
Right.
In this case, I think it has all the sort of the ingredients to kind of make it a great thing. So as a
Literally,
director,
you don't need him then.
actually no, yeah.
No, actually, no. So that's that kind of, he's kind of brought up a very valid point. So usually it's obviously a play has a playwright who's written it, and then you have an artistic director who's interpreting that vision, and then you have a performer who's going to now take that interpreted vision to that.
Correct.
Now, Ifaz is kind of in between the playwright and the performer, who's the same. Right?
Correct.
And what we do, I mean, this is something Sashen started when Sashen directed part 1, right? So Sashen Pera here, what we agreed was that the playwright will not be in the room when the performer is in the room.
Right.
Okay. So that's off. I don't this thing. For example, if I miss something, that's not a playwright's call. That's a performer's call. I have to take it, right? Whether I like it. Now, after rehearsals, we do have a chat about what works, what doesn't work, what can come differently. And sometimes when you do this piece, sometimes when I practice it on my own, there are certain things that come very naturally, right? In which case, I discuss it first with Ifaz, then obviously Siraj just to approve it, right, for it to get into the script. And then
do you speak to your other you?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, there's the other yous. Yeah. It's not a singular. It's like a plural thing.
This is not being mad. This is just how people are in the creative field. Let's get into a segment called Hot Seat. We'll come back with the answer that
Ifaz is supposed to
Ifaz has been trying to say in the long time. I think we now know.
I'll complete it before the end
Before the end of the show.
Yes.
That would be the mission of this.
I would have done my
Ifaz
bit.
to answer one question, right?
Yeah.
And let's see whether he'll actually get that answer. That will be fun.
Yeah, after Hot Seat. Thank you to our title partners of the show, Crystal Luxury Wellness, for joining us on Date with DANU. Now, you have problems. It could be hair, it could be skin, it could be age, it could be any of these. You can now look into a brand new you, because at Crystal, they look into your wellness. And this is not only about the exterior, it's about finding that zen within you as well. You can now experience all the amazing treatments, including their doctors and therapists who are qualified to take you through the process of your change for better skin, for better hair, better confidence in your life, and so much more. You can now visit them at their head office, if not Crystal Villa, if not at level 3 at One Golf Office, Colombo, for more details on how you can transform for the better version of you. Thank you, Crystal, for joining us on Date with DANU. In conversation, we have these two very interesting gentlemen who are going to be putting up this stand-up comedy which has multiple people playing, and it's all done by Feroze. But we have some questions, right? If you feel most of these questions are targeted to Feroze, but if you want to get into trouble, you could also answer a few.
Sure.
Okay? If you have to write a Puspedila series incorporating the current president and the current political forum, what would you add to it? Or if you can give us a little sneak.
If I was to write a Puspedila, so yes, obviously Puspedila's son would still be very active.
Yeah.
And of course, the new president of ASIC land would be, I already have the character.
Really?
Yes. Is Varuna Kumara Disawakne. That's the Pushpadilla version.
Right.
And he has 2 sidekicks, won't win silver, and KD Lal can't win. Yes.
Right.
But I'm suspect that that might not be, their names might not be that true.
Yeah. Very
coming
soon.
forward.
No?
Yeah, very soon. Yes.
These elections are coming so rapidly.
Yeah,
We get,
I know.
none of these people can, when we go into a new office, we would like to personalize it, right? Keep like a picture frame, like
Yeah.
my own cup. They can't do that.
Yeah.
Till the 14th, they're like,
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no, you can't
Yeah.
make anything
you
permanent.
can't do anything permanent. So gotta wait. Yeah. Who was the most offended by one of your jokes on stage, and how did you and then your team handle it? It could not only be for Nana. It could be for.
Oh, okay. So I don't know whether anybody really got offended for any of the Nana jokes, but I do know that somebody got really offended at the way I got Pushpadilla to play an Afghan Mujahideen leader, right? Because he was reading a letter from an Afghan, like a Taliban leader, which supposedly Push got, right? It was talking about the US president had just sent a senator to meet Pushpadilla to complain about Asik Klan's dismal human rights track record, right? And Pushpadilla then responds by reading a letter from this Afghan Taliban leader saying that the US government is making their job right, redundant, because they want to deprive the US citizens of their freedoms and their liberties and everything. And it seems like the US government is doing a better job than the Taliban can. Right? So he's complaining. And when Dominic Keller was playing that role, I kind of distinguished it to give the whole effect of the fact that when they speak, there's a bit of a guttural sort of this thing, right? So he obviously played it the way I directed him to. And someone took a great exception to the fact that, we made, that person speak like a, like that. But I said, that's just that was just our depiction of it. Even the letter wasn't supposed to be real. You had to get that. You had to get the fact that, he magically produced a letter which he did not allow the US senator to see, but he was supposedly reading, right? So the entire, this thing was farcical from the beginning. It was just him countering his own human rights issue by, claiming that the US themselves are following double standards.
How far did this person take this offense that he felt?
No, not much. It's just a couple of comments. But then I did, of course, have a very famous run-in with Pushpadilla and a former cricketer when we did a small skit at the Dialog TV Awards. I think at that time he was a politician. He was, clearly one of my heroes as well, right? I mean, we all cheered, when he performed so incredible.
Who plays him in the?
That particular, this thing was played by this actor called Nisal Latanayak. He was just playing, a general minister in the Pushpadilla's cabinet, but he said that, he was wearing sneakers because he was still having a hope of getting back into the national team, and things like that. And then, of course, made a unfortunate comment about, the pus coming out of the whole scenario. And that kind of caused a huge sort of a backlash, because I know that, they kind of attacked me and all that jazz, but, I just let it go. It wasn't like I said anything that was,
wrong,
libelous or anything like that. And I had already performed it at a public show. So
anyway, so the tennis shoes is back on.
But this time, clearly in a much better capacity. Correct. because the team's doing really well.
Yeah.
So hats off to him.
Who is funny without a script, according to you? Dominic, Dino, Block, Asanka Sabandu.
Without a script?
Yeah.
Dominic.
Does your wife find you funny?
I don't know. It's very difficult to get her. Maybe it's because, I'll tell you why. A lot of the time, and I explained this in my show as well, a lot of the time when I'm constructing a joke or, even like a thought process, she gets to hear it at the beginning itself.
Right.
So maybe by the time the joke actually comes into fruition, she's already heard everything, so it kind of ceases to, give that impact.
Impress her.
So she, I think, finds it funnier to see other people
Laugh.
laugh, because she's already kind of heard even the joke getting constructed. I mean, some jokes, there's one particular joke that I have been writing, and I've been having variations of it. Now I think we are on like the 150th different variation of the same joke,
thing.
just for me to get it as tight as possible.
Right.
So, so to make sure that the punchline's in the right place and using the right kind of word, and that the setup is just enough. So so she kind of knows the jokes way ahead. So it's difficult for her to see a joke a joke works because you hear it for the first time, right? And then once you've heard what's going to happen, it's a little bit like the magic trick, right? Once you know
there's no wow factor.
There's no wow factor.
So literally at your house, you say all these, and she's like, "Yeah, you want some more curry?"
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. That's
But she must be laughing at least first time when she hears it.
But that time it's not tight enough.
It's not tight enough. That's
So
right.
yeah, she's just like
right.
she's like, what a terrible thing.
It's just an idea in very loose formation, right?
Yeah.
When it's tight, she's
She's
already
tired of
seen
it.
all the
Yeah.
variations of it. Yeah.
I understand. Do you find Feroze funny?
Yeah.
I mean,
Simple answer. Very funny guy.
we
Yeah.
have like 14 days. For that.
How
He
can
is
I
fun,
disagree?
very funny.
Yeah.
He's,
And in headline news today,
Yeah.
Danu asked Ifaz, "Do you find Feroze funny?" And Ifaz says, "No."
No.
I didn't
Different
bat,
nuance
yeah,
to
bat an
it.
eyelid, yeah.
And guess what? Danu is now on it. Why?
Yeah.
let's get into a break. We'll see you on the other side. Do stick around. This is Date with Danu. Thank you to our title partners of the show, Crystal Luxury Wellness, for joining us on Date with Danu. Now, you have problems. It could be hair, it could be skin, it could be age, it could be any of these. You can now look into a brand new you, because at Crystal, they're looking to your wellness. And this is not only about the exterior, it's about finding that zen within you as well. You can now experience all the amazing treatments, including their doctors and therapists who are qualified to take you through the process of your change for better skin, for better hair, better confidence in your life, and so much more. You can now visit them at their head office, if not Crystal Villa, if not at level 3 at One Office, Colombo, for more details on how you can transform for the better version of you. Thank you, Crystal, for joining us on Date with Danu. Welcome back to the show. We're speaking about this upcoming show that's going to really keep your bellies full of laughter. It's all going down on the 22nd of November. Am I correct?
Yes. We start on the 22nd.
And ends on the 28th.
It ends on the 30th.
I'm just going to watch it on the
28th. Yes, you'll see.
So it's multiple days. You can buy your tickets right now. It's available at the Vent and at the same
no,
time.
tickets are
It's
online.
not. I really don't know what's happening anymore.
Tickets
on
are
the show.
online. They're online. We put it on our website, so stagelightandmagic.com.
Yeah,
Right.
because you get a lot of calls, if not, and you have to buy tickets for people and all that. So we thought it's easier to tell people.
Just buy it online.
stagelightandmagic.com.
Yeah,
Get as
Buy
many
your
tickets
tickets.
as you want.
So tickets are available. Make sure you book them soon so that you're not in for a disappointment. And you can't expect Feroze to do. Are you doing matinee shows as well?
No.
It's
This time
tiring,
because,
right?
Yeah, because last time we did have a matinee, and Nanu, there was it was a scary point because I was actually kind of under the weather
Yeah.
when we were doing the matinee, and on Saturday morning when I woke up I woke up early, my voice was
Gone.
And actually on the way when I was driving to the Vent, I was almost thinking, oh my
They
gosh.
don't pick you and drop you with such an entourage?
No, that's the thing. I like driving to the Vent.
Right.
Especially on the Saturday, whatever, I like that whole drive.
That
I clear my
experience.
mind, yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
And I was worried whether I could even do the matinee show, right? But then I took some lozenges which are not really good for me, but I had to take them. And I guess just before maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, this thing, my voice was kind of back and I was okay to do it. But it was really scary for me. So now I prefer not to do it.
Yeah, because it's not fair.
Yes,
like to
definitely. No,
give
but the Saturday matinee was fine because The one thing you have to remember is that no matter how sick you are, and you know this, you've been on stage as well, but when you get on stage,
It
your
goes
body
away.
kicks in some adrenaline from, you
Nowhere.
didn't even know that adrenaline was there.
Correct.
After the show, it's a different story. Yeah?
Then you
feel
like die.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
But,
If it's a different kind of show, like a musical or any kind of big production where they have multiple casts, then I guess it makes sense, because if not, for the same actor to come and kind of do it
and like
in
a
short
2-hour
span
in
of
a
time,
2 hours.
full-on
kind
talk.
of gain that energy is just very difficult. I
Correct.
mean, you could do it, but it just
it's a
takes
little bit difficult.
There was a time when theatre in Sri Lanka didn't have any type of interaction. Even if it was an interactive play, it was scripted interaction, because we were not sure whether somebody will come on stage. Like, anybody in the audience who would like to act like Shakespeare for a minute? So it's a bit of an issue. So because of that, Sri Lanka never took a risk in that type of theatre. But yours, I think it has, over the years, it has built, people really love coming on stage and like having a dig at them, and they know it's just for that moment. When you pick these people from the audience, have they ended up saying things which you found it so funny that you didn't expect them to come up with it?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they do. And you made a very good point about that. And you ironically quoted about Shakespeare, which is the first play that we actually tried it out at in 2001. I think you were helping backstage, if I'm not mistaken. Weren't you in the crew? Because 2002 we did Animal Farm, right?
Must have been there, rolling
So,
around.
Yeah. So, and in Complete Works, that was Ifaz, myself, and Anu.
Ah, yes, I was there.
And
Yeah,
somebody
you were
did
there,
come
that's
up
right,
and
yeah,
say
yeah,
some
yeah.
Shakespearean.
And but if you look back, that was kind of the first time that we did that. So the Lion Urban audience had never been used to that kind of thing, like people asking them questions,
Correct.
people this thing, and actually getting someone to come on and pretending to play Ophelia, and all that jazz. So those are kind of really we plan it out so well so that you kind of anticipate their responses. You ask them questions so that you get the response that you want, and then you have you have to practice now, especially in Grow Up Nana. When I go to the audience so many times, you have to practice for both, right? So both eventualities you have to be ready for. So are there any royalists in the audience? Yes, there will be, but you have to prepare for the eventuality that the royalists all keep quiet.
Correct.
So there will be, but you have to keep this thing. So when you go to certain things, so we always have both the possibilities. And you're right, the audience participation is something that our audiences have taken to very well. They really love it. When one of their own goes up there, it's kind of a
and they like to really perform.
Yes.
Like even when I came for you, Grow Up Nana, the first one, I saw the whole comedy element to it, and that's the, what was it? Say that, no, it's I'm doing it again. What was that?
So we were trying to show this whole seductive things, of Muslim men.
What is the word that you use?
Siddhi. So that's so we had this audience member come up, and every night we had a different audience member, and there was such fun to work with, because some of them were actually on stage for the first time, right? And obviously they're, it can get very intimidating, because when you come up on stage, suddenly all the lights are on you, and and it's hot, and everybody's listening to you, everybody can see you, so you get taken from the obscurity of being in the audience to the limelight of being on stage. And they all, so we obviously quickly, we give them this thing. And if you notice, there are always people kind of whispering into their ears saying, don't worry, don't panic, don't this thing. So while I am talking, which the audience can hear, there's always somebody from the crew saying, don't worry, Machang, we got you. This thing is all you have to do, don't this thing.
Just giving them the
just
motivation they
letting them
need.
know that they're okay. That they won't.
That Siddhi part was so funny.
Oh, I know. I had so much fun with it. Yeah.
Correct. It's like how you try to get lucky in the night.
There's always an element of surprise for both parties. For who's coming over and for the actors, because we don't know what's going to happen with the
Some people could really take the play to another level. Just like, no, we didn't get so much of clearance from the censor board. But coming back to the question I asked you, that one single question. How is it to work with Feroze?
Actually, I've been working with him since 1987.
9, no?
88.
88.
88, 80.
Yeah, 87.
Yeah, anyway,
87,
we'll figure that out. Oh, I should have never brought that up.
Yes. I'm 52 this year.
Really? You're a good 52.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. What is the secret?
Drama.
Depends on which one of me you're talking.
He's also
to.
52. You're also
No,
Around
he's
51.
He's just 1 year younger to me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe 87, 88, 87 Shakespeare.
87 or 88, yeah,
something,
yeah.
But you were a tough person to deal with back in the days, right?
When I was a director, yes, I think yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
I think I met Feroze soon after his rabies
you
shots
met
were given.
you met me at a bad time.
No,
That
I met
was-
you at a good time.
Was it?
Yeah, you were
Animal
kind
Farm?
at that time.
Animal Farm?
You were actually very kind to me.
Oh really? No, I may have been kind to you.
Which
Danu.
year was this?
Animal Farm, 2002.
Yeah.
But I think there are other people there who are.
No, you were
Yeah,
very
they're-
kind to me.
So the
then
global
that's good. I'm
temperatures would have
happy.
been
I'm
low
happy.
at
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
point.
because I was
Global
told that
Yeah.
he was a terrible director to work with.
Yeah.
And
Not-
when I
it's just not that. It's just that I used to throw legendary tantrums. I don't anymore.
Right.
I don't throw. I mean that's.
Please, I have worked with all directors of tantrum. Please.
I know, but I'm like my ones are legendary. My
Please-
ones are legendary.
Please explain one of these legendary
Okay,
tantrums.
so one of the legendary tantrums I threw was in '94 when I was directing the DS cast, right? So they had won the Shakespeare competition in '93, and in '94, then this was the time when there were 2 schools in the finals. So only 2 schools.
Yes,
made it to
yes,
the
now
finals,
there's
right?
4.
Now only there's 4. No, so obviously now they were the defending champions,
yeah.
and they got into the finals. It was against St. Peter's, and Makshood had won Best Actor that was his second one in a row. Because he had won in '93 for Hamlet, he won in '94 for Macbeth. So Best Actor is also announced at the semi-finals.
Correct.
Those days, right? And of course, Makshood was to win another one the following year for his Mark Antony as well, making him the only actor to have won 3 in a row, or to have won 3 at all. So, but anyway, so after they got into the finals, I remember telling them that I was coming to DS for a rehearsal at 4 o'clock. So I was working, and I remember I left early and I didn't have a vehicle at the time, so I take a bus, I go home, I change, and I'm at
So you all
school.
knew each other at that time,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
no?
they were all helping
You all
out
have come
with-
from the
yeah,
80s or 90s
correct.
now, yeah.
So I come at 4 o'clock, and all the little boys are there, the smaller boys, the cast are there, but the seniors are missing.
Right.
Why? Because the seniors are all at the line of it. Why? Because the girls' semi-final is on the next
happening,
day.
right.
Now they have gone into the finals also.
Yeah.
No. So now have to show off also.
Yeah.
No. There's a best actor. This is the guy who
Yeah.
won best. So everybody knows. No,
Yeah, correct.
he won best. So anyway, they had gone, and I'm waiting for like 45 minutes. I waited. So they came, and they hoped to. They were counting on the fact that they could distract me with good news.
Right.
And the good news that they were planning to distract me with was with the fact that my younger sister had won Best Actress that day. So she and Marisa Jans, they shared for St. Bridget's. They shared the Best Actress this thing, and that was also quite unique because I had shared the Best Actor with Abdul Mitrazan in '91, 3 years, and my Nangi also is a joint winner of the Best Actor. So they thought, can come and tell Nana this. No. I was fuming, Danu. I was so angry. Not that they got late. I got angry because they disrespected the process. Okay, they disrespected the process. They thought that it was okay for them to do that. I started my tantrum maybe around 4:45. Around, I think about 6:45, maybe 7 o'clock, right? I had finished half a cup of my coffee. And like now, other people were also coming in to help with the rehearsal.
Right.
So every time someone comes in, now I have to start it all over again. Why I'm upset with them? Why this thing? And at one point, I told them, and I said, and this was this thing. So these are all the boys are standing on stage, right? And they are standing for 2 hours.
They are sad.
And then I told them this. I said, go. You all are superstars, no? Go on Saturday. You will win. No. I know you will win. It's okay. But know that I will not be happy because for me, you all are not winners. You all bring the trophy and come. It's just a piece of silver. And I told them this. I said, 1 piece of silver, 40 pieces of silver, same thing for me. It's just a piece of silver. So go, bring it and come. They all started crying. This was like before 7:45, like a good 3 hours into the tantrum. Then they all started this thing. Then then by that time I calmed down. And then by that time, actually I was more calm. Then I was just tired. I couldn't.
Tired of it. And half a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean, how long can you do that?
Now you were looking at the.
Oh yeah, I've been through this. Yeah, I've seen this happen. And in fact, like recently, a couple of days ago, he was a little late for rehearsals, and Siraj was telling me, Nana, you know, every day this actor is getting late. Time to throw a tantrum. I said, no, that's a tough act to follow, so we'll just go with it. Let's just, you know, yeah.
I have gone through some fun parts with Feroze. Once he was supposed to pick me up from the Lionel Went, because he was kind like that to me. I'll never forget. It was a poem, which I didn't know. I didn't know that Lionel Went was closed
on a poem.
with all the lights off, and even like around that Colombo 7 property, everyone has put their lights off as well. So I went to the Lionel Went thinking that he'll pick me up to go to someone's house. No mobile phone, nothing. You know this, right? I was waiting. Not a soul is coming. And some random man has come to now rape me. Yes,
I remember this.
Some random man has approached me with his pants down in front of Lionel Went behind one of those pillars saying, I am like, and he's like, N. And I didn't know what to do, and my Sinhalese was terrible at that time. No phone, so I tapped the house next to it, which is now a shop. I tapped the, they're like, phone. I knew your number by heart, and I called you, and you were like, I'm in China. China? China? He said, I told Tanuj to pick you up.
Yes,
Somebody's trying to rape me. And then he said, I'll send word. By the time he sent word to the other side, they were at some bar. They have thought, I'm not coming.
Yes, they had assumed that you were turning up.
Then I ran to the police station, tried to explain some man showing his pee-pee to me. I couldn't actually. Then I went home in a trishaw with some police in it, and my mother thought I have committed murder or something to that nature.
Yes.
That's also because of Feroze.
I was in China, yes.
At least you picked up the call.
Yes, I picked up.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been
and
raped.
I got people to,
And
They
Tanu,
came in search of me. By that time,
Yeah, by then you had already gone.
yes. So either I was raped or went home, one of the two.
you
But
went home.
I went. I was not raped.
You know.
Yeah.
And Tanuja as a
Tanuja would have
backup
been to the
on a
rescue.
pre-poer also would have been a really.
It was a barbecue
That's right,
barbecue script reading that we were doing.
Correct.
Yeah, on somebody's rooftop, which I didn't go. I went for another one after that, and narrated the story. So you see, you were very kind at that time. I think maybe we were so young. We were like 16.
You always just out of school.
Yeah, we had that sweat smell and all.
Oh my God! And remember Animal Farm?
So we had entered the 2000s now with Animal Farm.
So Animal Farm. So
You can
all
vomit.
these guys played characters.
Wait, I'm going to tell that as our priceless moment. We'll see you right after this. Big thank you to our friends at MasterCard for joining us with our priceless moment. Thank you to our friends at MasterCard for joining us on the show. With MasterCard, everything is so much more easier. You can enjoy a moment, you can celebrate it with your loved ones, you can make this coming season so much more meaningful with great offers, great places to visit, dine, and also holiday. All of this with this MasterCard in your hand. Priceless moments guaranteed. Thank you for joining us on the show. And for more details about MasterCard, you can check out their social handles where they update you every single day with something that's just going to leave you because that's how cool MasterCard is. Thank you for joining us on the show. So talking about priceless moments, this is funny. So we did a play called Animal Farm long years ago. I actually went this size and I left the play looking a little bit like Feroze because we had to dance, sing, and we were given costumes that were perfect to live in, like, I don't know, in Iceland or something. Yeah.
Because I wanted Animal Farm to be this kind of this rock opera, right?
Yes.
So it's the first time that we were putting a live band on stage.
On
it was
top?
Yeah, on top of us,
Yes.
right? And I was lucky we had this amazing band called Krebs Cycle.
I know, they were
my
so
friend
good.
Aslan Batusha, and of course my dear friend Ranil Gunwardana was there. Sena and Iki were the other two.
Were you
So
there
Krebs-
during that time?
I was, but I have this, you know, on and off periods with theatre. So that was kind of an off
period.
Because
off
I
period.
remember.
But I was working. I came and helped
Yeah,
out,
so-
like front of house and that sort of thing,
Right,
but
right.
didn't get involved in a major way.
So I wanted it to be spectacular. So I had worked with Sonali from Hedai
Yeah.
for complete works. She had
Right.
done all the costumes. So I told Sonali, I said, I need you to dream up of costumes.
But the
these
budget would
animals
have been
are-
huge, right?
Yes, actually Animal Farm, because remember Complete Works was the fundraiser for Animal Farm. Because we started doing Animal Farm in 2001, Danu.
Yes, yes.
Then we didn't have enough money to do
And
it.
you all
Then
stopped.
they swapped because Complete Works was a cheaper show
Yeah,
to do.
3 people.
Yes, and because it became so successful, we actually had enough money to do Animal Farm.
So in a way, I have contributed to answer your question.
Yes, he has contributed to
Yeah.
Animal Farm, yeah. So, so Sonali created these fabulous costumes, right? And she used all kinds of different things,
Yeah.
like from fur to
Leather,
leather to everything.
Rexine.
Now, here's the thing. We didn't really have any way of laundering these costumes, Danu.
No.
We couldn't, because you understand that, right? Because
Correct.
the fabric itself wasn't normal fabric.
Yeah,
She
and
was
we had
using
more people
so
on
many
the
different-
cast.
Yes, we had about 30, 35 people.
Yeah, more.
So what we did was we invested in deodorant cans. That's what we had.
And not the same for everyone.
Yes, yes. So after every show, they would hang up their costumes in the dressing room for
And
it to dry.
spray.
And then in the morning, the crew comes and sprays the costumes with deodorant.
By the
That's
time we were
only-
done with dress
Yes,
rehearsals, we
yes.
were already smelling.
Yeah, I know, I know.
So performance just smelt a
And
little bit
correct,
bad.
correct,
By the
correct.
time it was curtain call,
It
we
was
could vomit.
terrible. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was terrible.
And Anuruddha forever went on giving us sweat.
yes, yes, yes.
Like-
he would be, yeah,
He,
yeah.
he will do
unfortunately.
this and you're all like,
There's a lot. I actually, Danu, to be very honest with you, that's not. I mean, if you think about it, a lot of actors in a lot of productions must be going through that same thing, right? Because not all the costumes can be
Yes, of
can
course.
be these things, and not all productions have multiple
correct.
costumes. I'm sure
And
the
we
bigger
also
ones-
had gel on our hair with glitter every
Yes,
single
correct,
day.
correct.
Yeah.
And that was very difficult to get off, if I remember
Correct.
right. You had to have like a proper.
We were shining for a few
Yes,
days.
yes.
Yeah.
So those are, I think, the sacrifices that actors do, and I think mostly amateur actors
Yeah.
put in a lot of those.
We had
those
so much of
sacrifice.
fun because we loved your egg roti
Oh,
with
yeah,
kata sambal,
yeah.
not kata, that umbala kata
Umbalakada
sambal.
sambal.
Then we used to get the vegetarian
Option.
burger.
Yes.
Then we had a hot dog
Hot
that used
dog,
to
yes,
come.
yes.
See,
We would have
this
that.
was a staple thing, and we practiced at Adam Ali's house where there was a jambu tree.
Yes, yes, yes.
Correct.
Believe it or not, that house, Adam had just bought it and he hadn't even moved into it, but he
Really?
gave me the keys
Yeah.
and I turned it into a rehearsal space.
Yeah. True. Good times. Good times. Getting into a break. We'll see you on the other side. Do stick around. This is. Because I don't have a way to, dance to those 19 odd songs that we did when we were doing Animal Farm. Working out has become a bit of a tiring task for me. And I was losing options in buying shirts. And then I came across Shirtworks. They were like, don't worry about your curves. Let us embrace it for you. They said, you don't need to buy shirts off the rack. We will make it for you. So I pick the fabrics from ED's array. I choose the colors I like, the detailing that I want, and they give it to me in 7 days. Check out Shirtworks today for a personalized shirt that really makes you look good. Welcome back to the show. We are speaking about Grow Up Nana, which is to be staged at the Lano event end of this month, and we're speaking through the good times that we have had on stage. Now, Feroze and I think the whole team, how you all run this theatre company, one is very refreshing to know that you all have also respected the artists who have brought in the capital to keep this place going. You all have paid them, you all have looked after them, you all have made them into brands themselves. It has been a win-win situation for everyone, which is amazing. The process of it, it's sort of it's amateur theatre, but respecting the professionalism in it. Tell me about how that works, and how are you all able to sort of fuel this and keep it going?
Yeah, well, so I certainly, I'm of the opinion that, theatre corporate patronage should not be taken for granted. Okay? Corporate patronage must come because there is a benefit for both sides. So I hate going and asking for anything, sponsorship, anything in the form of saying, oh, please help us. No. If you feel that my brand is good enough, if you feel that my brand is something you want to be associated with it, what I'm giving you is intangible, what you're giving me is tangible, but both of us have to meet, right? What I am giving you must be worth it for you to give what you are giving me. So I come from this thing. In terms of the looking after people and whatever, during Pushpadilla and Freddie, we would sign contracts with the actors, and that was actually for their protection, because a lot of the content could have,
personally attacked them.
Yeah, we didn't want a situation where any of them would get sued by anyone for playing a character or for saying something on stage. So we write, obviously, so they are contracted as actors, and it's very clear that the script is written by me and that they are only actors. Right? So if you have a problem with what they said, don't go after them, you come after me, you sue me, take me to court, whatever, I'll handle it, but it's this thing. So now we kind of follow this thing of, we are obviously now in the mode, SLM is in the mode, we are preparing for a really big show next year, right? Hopefully that will happen. And now, so at this point, everything that we are doing is to make sure that we have enough funds for that next show. Because we will plan a show, and we do not plan to get corporate sponsorship. Even Guapnan is running without, by and large, anything, just my company, South Asian Technology sponsors. But other than that, everything is, we run it on this thing itself. So since in certain shows, yes, we actually
look into.
We don't, but what we do is we give a share of what we have made rather than an assured payment upfront. Right? So everybody gets something at the end of it. Once we have finished the show and done everything and kept enough for the next one, then we share off whatever we have. Sometimes there's a little bit in the kitty, sometimes there's very little in the kitty, sometimes there's nothing in the kitty, and that's fine. And everybody has to be okay
with it. Whatever the kitty has,
yes,
you'll get a part of it.
Yeah.
Funny, I actually auditioned for Freddie once.
Yes.
I was so bad that day. I have a problem, that I can't rehearse. I can't perform.
No, but you used to be, we were fine with doing Animal Farm.
I was the same. Like, until I got used to y'all, I still remember you asking me to audition to sing. And at that time, I was actually singing.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can sing, right?
Yes, you can. Yeah. We just.
And so initially, I was just a 3-line speaking sheep. Then by the time I got comfortable, I was able to show off my talent.
Yes.
So it was the same when I came for Freddie. I had gone for a surgery on my, you have certain things that happen down under, and a bit of a surgery there. And I came because my sister was very adamant that I go for this. I really wanted to go. I just made a fool of myself, and I was like, never again I'm going to audition like this, because it was in front of so many people. Up to now, I get scared for auditions. Up to now.
Okay. Yeah, auditions can be a little bit
intimidating, right?
It is. Yeah.
It's terrible. I don't know why people do that.
And I think that particular Freddie audition, we were very lucky because we had so many people who turned up. We actually had the Lano event itself, and we had this thing. And it's nice to see, Danu, though, that the stand-up scene is picking up.
I think you created that culture.
Yeah, I think lots of people are doing that, because it's a very honest form of performance, right? I mean, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you get out there and you say whatever it is. And what's nice about the stand-up scene is, everyone has a story. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, even you have stories of, being all alone, scared at the Lano event, in front of this, and how people help you, and everybody has a story. And
it's the way you put it out.
Exactly, it's the way you put it out. It's also the way you kind of approach what has happened to you. Now, for example, it's quite interesting the way you relate the Lano event story. It's something you put in your something funny that happened to me, right? Something this thing. You haven't filed it under the traumatic thing. No, I know the experience would have been traumatic, and I don't listen. You're 16 years old and whatever, but now you choose to remember it
in the lighter
side of things, right?
Correct.
So now that is kind of also what stand-up comedians do, right? So when stand-up performers, I think what they do is they try to find a lighter side to almost everything. Almost everything has kind of, but it's still, it's still,
That's why I sort of get around with Jaffna
So
Boy.
depending on what you're making fun of, your comedy gets tagged as humor or as what we call dark humor. You know what I'm saying? So the more, I guess, taboo the subject would be, the darker your joke is, right? So it's, and of course, even for that, Danu, there's people who love it.
Yeah, correct.
There's people who love dark humor, there's people who love slapstick humor,
Yeah.
so there's kind of lots of different things. But the stand-up scene, I mean, I'm so nice to see that it's, you know, it's picking up. Yeah.
The two places that I know it's really big, definitely Australia, they love it.
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing is in Bangalore, in India.
Oh, really?
It's so huge. Bangalore clubs and all are just full of stand-up comedians.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it's so appreciated. Like a lot of people travel to Bangalore to just listen to.
Okay.
Yeah, such a big thing. All right, we have a segment called Smack That. We'll get into it. Thank you to our friends at Smack for joining us on the show. You know, it's a truly local product. As someone who always likes to support local brands, this is such a cool brand. It makes us look so cool. Smack has been around for so long. I'm sure you would have enjoyed it in the 80s. That's when they started coming in. And from then to today, they have maintained standards. They have built communities around them. They've given us snacks now to enjoy the smack while you watch a movie or go out with friends or even get to a cinema. There's so much for you to choose from. Now it comes in different types so that your transportation of a smack bottle is not a problem. You have it in cans, you have it in bottles, you have endless options, but always a bit of a Faluda is always nice. But we have to speak about the Faluda with Nana after this, because I love the Smack Faluda. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't.
What? You're missing out on good things in life.
I
Yes.
always like a Faluda, and I've tried this back. Yeah.
Can you please try it?
Yes, I will.
What are you going? Now you have something to serve at your other wedding. All right, so thank you to Smack for joining us on the show. Here are some questions that may sound a bit wrong, but they're actually very nice. Okay, but if you have your brain,
From me or Ifaz?
both.
Both. Ifaz, you go first.
No, you can both answer. It starts with the letter P and ends with ORN. I play a major role in the film industry. What am I?
ORN.
Yeah. It starts with the letter P and ends with ORN. What are y'all thinking? Say that.
What am I thinking? ORN, I'm trying to think
Yeah,
of
there has to be
words
some
that's-
letters in between that.
Yeah, that's
Obviously.
fine.
If you know.
Yeah.
It's a movie industry thing, is
Yeah.
it?
Is it a pig horn
What?
or bullhorn? No, that's not that.
In the movie industry, a bullhorn?
Everybody getting up there. Yeah. No. ORN, that's a difficult. That's a
We
difficult
are
one.
theatre
yeah.
people. so-
Popcorn.
Movie in the. I was thinking of
Ah.
producing
Nice.
the movie. Okay, right. Okay, fair enough. Popcorn.
I prevent any mistakes that you might thought you might make. What am I? I'm made out of rubber.
Eraser.
You're an innocent mind you have. Every man has one. Some are big, some are tiny. Some can be a bit bent. Some tend to not even have a definition. You can blow it. You can drip off it. What am I?
Nose. You wanted me to say something else.
No, because you're
You
good
said
at
one.
this.
You said one.
What?
You said men have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many do you have?
I have one nose.
That's what.
So that's what that was my
Everything
my,
else
as soon
also
as-
is- I hope the other things also
We
work.
have two eyes,
Yeah.
2 years.
Congratulations. You win.
So I
You win. Break time. When we do come back, we're going to speak about this very famous Faluda joke that's going around. I love it. Actually, Dima, who is here, we were just talking about it in the morning. We'll see you right after. Thank you to our friends at Petals by Hassa for joining us on the show. It's a little demo that we have here. I got this specially for Feroze. You know, I don't think anybody gives you flowers. No. Even after Nana, nobody gave you?
not really. No.
See, at least I'm.
No, my wife sent me flowers. Obviously, yeah. She said.
That is
Yes.
apart
sure
from the wife.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, but here is.
I better also than that to answer that. Who is this? Why did the flowers come and all? You have to be very careful. No.
So, Petals by Hassa is an ideal place for you to buy some flowers for Feroze when you're going to watch the show. The men could hand it over to Feroze. The women could be the ones who have purchased it for him. They have such a range. They have this wild bunch, which is really, really popular. It's a collection of many flowers that are so close to Sri Lanka as well. Really gives it a nice look and feel. If you have a big event coming up or a wedding, as you're planning your menu, make sure that the place looks nice, but it's done in a way that it's tasteful. You can speak to Hassa and the team about how you can make it so much more nicer. Thank you for joining us on the show. Welcome back to the show. So we are talking about Grow Up Nana. The first season of it, if I could put it that way, was absolutely hilarious. Some of those things really stay in our head. We go for these weddings. We have been to Muslim brothers' weddings, and we always say, "Achang, oh, this is such a cheap bloody wedding, man. No fancy, nothing here. We'll have a party later and all those stuff." And it's the usual thing. We always go bite off the chicken thigh and have a nice biryani and put a little faluda at the end and go home happily. And these are huge amount of people sometimes.
Correct.
And I wanted to ask you, why is that the minute the dinner or the lunch is served, they all leave?
Well, because there's nothing much to do after that, right? I mean, you have the focal point is obviously the meal, right?
Not the bride or the groom.
But in my show, I'm actually giving some tips, right?
To make it,
this thing. So that's
that's coming in season 2.
That's coming in season 2.
Right. Let's speak about.
In fact, in season 2, there is quite a bit. I'm talking about our weddings itself.
That's
right?
amazing.
Following up from
Now I have to speak about the faluda joke. It's really funny. It's like you all can pop a bottle of champagne, but we can't pour faluda down the champagne tar. Now, tell me about that. I just
I think the basic premise of the joke was it comes from this. But I say we still want to do some good PDW at weddings, no? DANU.
Yeah.
So PDW obviously public display of wealth.
Yeah.
Right. Now, so I'm taking the mickey on those who do things just so that it's kind of a display of public wealth or public display of their wealth. And I was trying to point out the fact that at Muslim weddings we are kind of shackled. We don't have that many avenues.
Correct.
For to display. Because what can we do? I mean, we can't have a buffet.
You
about
can't.
it. No, so the point is this, you have biryani,
Or it's mandatory to have only biryani?
Well, it's like this. Would you want to go to a Muslim wedding and have nasi goreng?
That's
just
true.
asking, right? I mean, there's no point.
A
right?
buffet could have the biryani and the nasi.
Yes, but then everyone will go for the biryani. That's the problem, right? It's not. It's a risk. You see, it's a risk.
It's a risk for the nasi goreng.
I wouldn't know. I mean, you go to a Muslim wedding and they serve you Chinese food. I'm sorry, but not in Sri Lanka. I mean, if you go to a Muslim wedding in China and they serve you Chinese food, that's fine. I am saying that's perfectly okay. Right? And I'm sure in Thailand, the Muslims there have really good Thai food, but then they'll be eating their So basically, I think even for you guys, which is my term for the non-Muslims, I think the kind of the expectation when you go for a Muslim wedding is, they can put a good biryani, that is kind of the expectation. So in fact, I know lots of non-Muslims who, before they go for a Muslim wedding, they kind of stop over and maybe have a small, like a single malt, this thing, just to help the biryani along. The biryani that is forthcoming. So after the food, after the dinner, there's nothing much, so everybody kind of goes off, right? So, but in my show, I'm kind of saying how we can extend that and
how to mingle afterwards.
And what you guys can do to also enjoy that. Enjoy more of a Muslim wedding.
That is true. We have a segment called Kinky. These are happy men. You all have kids, no?
I have one, he has two.
Are we able to reproduce? So this is not. That's from Midnight Divas. Do you feel like it when you're a bit drunk?
I don't drink.
At all? Okay, you're a good
I gave up in
you
many,
gave
many
at that time?
Used to. Used to.
At that time?
Probably not, no. I just go to sleep.
Now?
You? No. No, I don't
Feel
drink.
like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, all the time.
but
But now do you
Feel
feel like it now that you don't drink?
no, I don't feel like it right now. If you're questioning, but yes, I have this thing. Yeah. In fact, I do have a line in the play also
About
that, and I say that in our faith it is actually encouraged to have sexual relations with your lawful spouse.
Right.
That's it. With your lawful spouse, there's no.
Of course, that's the rule in every religion, I think.
It is encouraged as well, not just seen as something that should be done just for procreation, but something that is bound on both to groom themselves well, to be pleasant for each other, and to pleasure and to provide pleasure.
Oh, like
It's-
trim.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're going with this, Danu.
No, I'm not going there. I'm not going anywhere. I went.
But I can see that bag there.
I'm done.
And he's asking these questions.
So
yeah.
this
He's
is
trying
good.
to give it to you. I think now you
This
said
is
you feel
good.
like it. No.
Yeah, they're
You
located on
can
top
you
of my
can
nose,
use this to
actually.
trim. There are
Yes.
things that you can
Yes.
smell good with.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
For men.
I don't know what you're into.
I don't know.
I'm just investigating.
Hold on,
going
I'm just
deep
questioning you.
All right.
You are planning on giving this to be used on a man?
No. I think you don't know what it is.
No,
Ifaz. Don't make promises.
Yeah, better. We'll first check what's in there.
We'll check the contents, and depending on which gender this is actually meant for, we will ensure that the right gender person gets it. Right?
Okay. Do you prefer to have a breather, moaner, or a screamer?
Breathing makes it more human. No? Like there's life in it.
Yes. I would hope that they are breathing. Yes.
Okay,
But,
breathing.
I don't like the breathing part.
There's more life in it.
Yes. I don't know. Yeah, so I would say, yeah.
Breather?
Yeah, probably.
Found it tough now to answer that.
Yeah.
This is the first time Feroze has looked the other.
When you said Mona, I was wondering whether we were talking about someone called Mona. And then I realized when you meant Mona.
That would be really bad.
Or something who moans about everything.
But that would be really bad to be
So
named.
breather or a screamer is okay,
Yeah.
but this Mona is a big problem.
Just imagine if you are going to be named Mona, you're a moaning Mona. You are a moaning Mona. We'll get into a break with our final segment on the other side. Do stick around this day. Thank you to our friends at MasterCard for joining us on the show. With MasterCard, everything is so much more easier. You can enjoy a moment, you can celebrate it with your loved ones, you can make this coming season so much more meaningful with great offers, great places to visit, dine, and also holiday. All of this with this MasterCard in your hand. Priceless moments guaranteed. Thank you for joining us on the show. And for more details about MasterCard, you can check out their social handles where they update you every single day with something that's just going to leave you because that's how cool MasterCard is. Thank you for joining us on the show. Welcome back to the show. Before we close things up, we would like to tell you that Grow Up Nana 2 is going on stage at the Lanul Wind from the 22nd of November to the 30th of November. You have ample time to get your tickets now on the website.
Stagelightandmagic.com. Yeah.
There you go. Make your ticket purchases, get them done soon so that you know you won't be disappointed. It's going to be an epic night of great laughter. That's guaranteed. But there's also, in midst of all this fun, interesting stories that Feroze narrates on stage, there are also some very deep, meaningful pointers that were brought down. And it really sets the stage the other way around for a minute where you stop laughing and you think for a minute, and it gives you a right balance. But we don't need to look far into the world when we even here are to be blamed with very small thinking mannerisms that we have had. 2019 was a great example of where we had such a beautiful, peaceful country from 2010. Everyone was just happy with everyone. And 2019, when that bomb went off, people started pointing at their own friends, family. They have been with them, they have eaten at their houses or purchased from their shops. They all just looked at them as enemies. And I know how that feels, because when the war was on and when we used to be stopped, they saw us not as Tamil people living in Sri Lanka, they saw us as terrorists who are living in Sri Lanka.
Correct.
Whereas, please, me with a gun or me with a bomb is not going to look good. So I'm just saying, you know, it's just the mind perspective just changed within a day. And to write a script that really singles out a community, and you know, you had fun on the topic, the Muslims, the jokes that you all share, it was all like laughter for everyone.
Correct.
Because we live in such a multi community. You tell me, in 2019, when this country saw a complete different light to the ones who had that mindset, and some people who I thought will never think that way thought that way, how did y'all come out of the challenge personally, and what did it teach you?
I think the run up to it, of what you're kind of suggesting, Danu, started way before 2018.
Yeah, 2018 is when it all started.
May have started after the end of the war, where, you know, our community was kind of maybe profiled or
So
that sort of thing.
So basically, the Islamophobia has been, I mean, it's kind of a global thing, right? So there has been that, and yes, it did manifest in Sri Lanka, and I think all of us have kind of, you know, incidents. I myself, you know, had troops coming into my house, you know, to search this thing, and, you know, and asking me things like, what is this? I said, that's a prayer mat, you know, and not knowing what a prayer mat was, you know, and things like that. And it was a very scary, a scary episode for us. And yes, true, our Tamil brothers and sisters also lived through a similar episode where, you know, they were constantly looked at with suspicion, you know, and even, I mean, even alluding it to sort of these things, you know, I think there was always sort of almost like a suspicion that whenever something happened in Colombo, for example, oh, did the Tamil people know about it in advance? Okay, did they know how many, like if a bomb went off, oh, how many Tamil people were on that? Okay, if there were none, oh, did they know? Okay, why was it that no one, you know? So there was always that hint of suspicion
that was
directed to, you know, by and large everybody who was, you know, who was Tamil. You know, you identified as a Tamil, you immediately became, you know, if not a member, at least, oh, must be sympathizing. Okay, must be this thing. Quite forgetting the fact that, you know, lots of people did oppose that. And I think when we did Freddie, Adin brought in that narrative, right, that not all of them, you know, that not all Tamil people were this thing. I mean, you know, in fact, I think the Tamil community has suffered immensely by losing so many of their best and brightest, you know, at the hands of that. So for me, part of the reason why I wrote this show, one was also that. And if you notice, I never use the word Islamophobia in my performance. It's not in my design, I never do it. But what I feel is that sometimes, Danu, if people know, for example, you know, if I have been to your house and I have admitted even a glass of water. If someone comes and tells me, oh, Danu is, you know, having whips and chains, he's locking people up and cutting people, chopping people up at his house, I'll say, no, I know him, right? So this is, I mean, obviously we can't invite everyone to our houses, but this was kind of my way of explaining why we do certain things, right? Why we are, you know, wired the way we are. Sometimes, you know, we have to. Sometimes we do silly things also. And I was trying to kind of tell the other communities, these are some of the silly things that we do, okay? And these are some of the things that we kind of, you know, who we are. Like, for example, Danu, you asked me whether I have drunk Faluda, and I'll tell you, I'm a Faluda snob. Like I'm a Vatlappam snob, okay? But I'm sure you also must be a snob for something that is very special to you. I know your sis is a fabulous cook, right? So you may have one dish that she makes that no matter where you have it, right, it's not going to be the same. And sometimes you'll think, nah, I'm not even going to try anybody else's because My sister makes the best one of it. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. And even if someone forces that on you, you'll still say, not as good as my sister's, not as good as my mom's, not as good as my grand. We all have a special dish, something that we have, you know, that is ours. Like the burgers, they would have the brooder,
of course,
which they are very proud of, right? And
that recipe doesn't get shared.
Exactly, and they'd have like brooder wars. You know, our one's better than theirs. We have the same with Watlapam, and we have the same with Faluda as well, right?
I like Faluda. Who makes it? You?
Well, actually, to be very honest with you, the best Faluda is the one that you get from that shop in Peta, the original.
That's
kind of
that's true.
Thing,
yeah, I tried the Vellavata one recently, this Bombay Sweet House one.
It kind of varies.
Yeah, it depends on who is there.
Correct.
You know,
correct.
The milk and the syrup should have that right marriage.
That's right. And I think essential to any good Faluda is that it must contain like 1 month's supply of sugar for a normal human being. Otherwise, Danu, why take 3 weeks of sugar when you can go for the month itself?
Correct,
you know?
that's
like
true.
That,
you need to have it all.
Have that,
Exactly. And you need to have that samosa.
Now, for example, I do not eat Watlapam excepting at 2 houses, 3 houses. That's all. Only 3 houses I will eat Watlapam. So
I have to say, hands down, my favorite Watlapam is from Yasmin Kader.
There you go. So Auntie Yasmin will be happy about that.
To a point, you know, I was never a fan of Watlapang. I have always disliked Watlapang. Sorry.
That's okay.
But when she said, no, try it. It's really nice.
No, maybe that's the thing. That's the thing is Watlapam also has very, very different criteria. Lots of things.
Can you believe it? For my 20th year, she brought me a Watlapang and his house sweet. Absolutely amazing. I love her. That's number 1. I hate when somebody takes this ready-to-make ones and gives me. That is not acceptable.
Basically, if you can cut the Watlapam into a square,
it's wrong.
It's not
Watlapam.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if a Watlapam is in a nice square, I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah, then it's not Watlapam. It's a look-alike.
It's a pretender.
Pretender. All right, on that note, we need to wrap things up. Please go watch this. It's interesting. Why I really enjoyed Nana was the fact that, you know, as someone who is Muslim, he's able to say these things because there's also, you have a past there. You know, I'm talking about my culture here.
Right,
so
that's right.
It's the same when I do Jaffna Boy. Of course, somebody asks me, like, don't you like annoy people? But you know, the Auntie Pearlies, the aunties who I speak about, they are true characters who I've met.
Correct.
There was somebody at my mom's funeral who asked me, how much did you buy the box for? It's not a shoe box I bought, it's a coffin.
Absolutely. So, we all have. And what we do is we kind of slightly exaggerated. For
of course. Definitely.
But you take the real things that happen to you, questions that people ask you.
Even at a funeral, they'll ask you the most atrocious things like, did she want to be cremated? She wanted, I'm sorry, I couldn't have a conversation about it. So it's interesting. So yeah, one day I think we should do a Nana Jaffna Boy combo.
Maybe.
We should. All right, on that note, we need to wrap things up. Yes. Can you please tell me how is it to work with this man? This is the first and the last question I'm asking.
Oh no, Danu, because I've been thinking about this question since you first asked me at the beginning of this show, and I don't think I can answer it. It's been 35 years, I still haven't figured it out. So hopefully if we get invited to another show for another Nana, I may have figured it out and then answer the question then.
You must be a very good husband. You know why? If you can handle him. All right. Go watch Grow Up Nana 2. Until we see you again, you keep smiling. It's a wrap.